don't mean to bring up the Oswald thing again, but like recently we put out Idiot's Anthem, and we posted the artwork, and we got a whole bunch of negative comments in regard to like people just going, "Oh, well, that's AI," and that's
right.
this.
And we didn't get a
and
bunch of negative comments. It felt like a bunch of negative comments to you, but we got like 2 negative comments.
Oh, it was only 2.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like
2.
I feel like there was like threads of it, or
it was a thread with like 3 comments, and one of
I
them
didn't
was
look
ours.
at them. I didn't look at them.
Yeah,
it's
nowhere near. It's nowhere near that.
Oh, okay.
It's like there's a couple of comments. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of comments. And if there's a thread, it's because either there was one thread that I answered in, and there was one thread that Andy answered in.
Oh,
So
the way it sounded was the way he had presented it was as if there was like a whole bunch of people,
like it's a conspiracy.
There was like
a thing happening.
There was a lynch mob ready to.
There's not a thing happening.
Oh, okay.
But there was like a on Idiots, which is funny because the artwork for Idiots is supposed to look like, it's supposed to look like people were saying, it's obviously AI because of like all the faceless people. It's supposed to be faceless people.
Right.
It's the idea is that. And yeah, I used AI for parts of it. Absolutely, I did.
Right. Well, I think
I used AI for parts of everything, artwork wise. Well, I didn't use it for the whole thing, but I use it for parts of everything.
Yeah, I feel like using it as a tool. Again, this is our argument is like you use it as a tool. You don't use it as the whole thing and go, "This is the art I made because I put in a description." It's like, no, you take an element and you make a description, and then it creates something, and then you edit it to your liking, and then you create another thing to put on top. And
and the argument is that it's using existing art to pull from to create your art. So you might get, and that's true from what I understand, you might get eyeballs from somebody else's work or something similar because they're using real work to put together what you're asking. Now, for me, my perspective only, but here's my general argument for the use of AI in my use case. If I was a visual artist and that was my gig, and I was saying I am an artist and I work with chalk, I would not use watercolors or paint or colored pencils because I have stated and I have said that this portion of my career as an artist, I am working with chalk. If I'm not saying that, if I'm saying I'm going to make an album cover and I'm going to make it with whatever I can, I know a little bit of Photoshop. I know how to match color. I know how to, I have, maybe I want to do some of it physically, and I want to do paint for some, and I want to do Photoshop for some, and I want to do crayons for some, and I want to do, but I need something very specific that is a drawing, and I can't draw it, and I don't have the funds to pay someone to draw it, but I can go use a source like AI and say, okay, here's what I'm needing, and they can get me something that's close enough for me to then work on to make it look the way I want it to look. I, for one, I don't have a problem doing that, and I don't care if anyone does have a problem with me doing that because I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. If you want to commission me to make you an art piece and you tell me not to do AI and you're paying me, I won't use any. If I'm making something for myself and I'm doing it in whatever way I want to,
and you have a very specific
step
vision.
off, worry about your own, go clean your own yard, right? Yeah. Like, don't tell me how to make art for me. That's the antithesis of supporting artists. You can't make it that way. Well, yes, I can. That's my argument. I did.
I just did.
It exists. Yeah. So yes, it's not right. To who? You're not. Point to me what part of this is yours. Point to me what part of this is somebody that you know. Show me the piece that it's taking from. If you can do that, then I'm happy to contact the person and go, hey, I did not know that this was part of your piece, let's work something out so that I can use it, or I'll change it. But if you're just going to be an online crusader that is out there to right the wrongs of the AI use in the art community, I don't care what bothers you.
Hey,
it's
man.
weird that it bothers you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think that there's definitely a line, and there's definitely like this. Listen, people are not necessarily able to do. Not everybody is a jack of all trades, and not everybody has a ton of money. It's
Dude, when people started making art with colored pencils, the people that made art with paint thought that it was going to ruin the credibility of art.
Mhm.
When people started making art with watercolors, the people that used colored pencils
Mhm.
and the people that used paint that are now okay with colored pencils because it's been around long enough were pissed off at watercolors
Right.
because it's going to ruin the medium. When people started tattooing in a different style than traditional tattooing, they thought that it was going to ruin the tattoo industry because it was a different thing. Anytime something new comes out, the people that have been using something else or doing it a certain way that feel that way is right are going to rebel against it, or some people are going to rebel against it or are going to fight change. That's what happens. When rock and roll started, people thought that it was an abomination.
Yeah.
Right? They could only shoot Elvis from the waist up because of the effect that he was going to have on girls, because girls can't be trusted to not see a person on TV shaking their hips and then go out and make babies. Right? Like metal is Satan's music, and it's going to corrupt the minds of the young. Hip hop is going to corrupt the minds of the young and glorify gang culture, and like blah 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 blah.
Yep.
Right? It happens over and over and over again, and it's going to happen over. I, for one, choose to look at what something can offer me in the way of, hey, is this a thing that I can use to get my vision across to people quicker, easier, less expensive to me, because we're now in an age where people don't want to pay for it, and expedite my ability to get things done. It's more efficient, and I can find ways to use it that still feel artistic and still feel I'm not just, and that's my way of using it. If you choose to use it in a different way and bastardize the system or whatever you want to call it, that's fine too, because how you use it has no effect on me, because I'm still going to use it the way that I want to, in my way, that in my brain is okay.
Yeah, it's we've got some people in the chat, Pinky and Ziggy, kind of nothing wrong with certain AI. Deep fake is just wrong. I agree with that. I agree with taking people and their likeness and creating another movie out of it is not okay.
Not okay.
Well,
you're profiting off of somebody else's thing,
right?
Any profiting off of somebody else's work is bootlegging and is infringement.
Right.
It just is.
Yeah.
But again, we're talking about the visual medium of art, and there's been something called photo manipulation for a very long time.
Very long time.
And sorry, but that's the way. There's only 12 notes in music. Only so many ways those notes fit together. Your job is to take something that our job as songwriters, as musicians, is to take an idea and put it in a format that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other people have done thousands and thousands of times, and try and figure out a way to make it at least feel authentic to us. And if you make it feel authentic to you and you're able to do that, I think that's what art is. We can all use the same red, just
apply it differently.
If you put it on an apple and I put it on the sky, those are two different things, but we use the same red.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I agree. Like Pinky said, people are saying that art on an iPad, people who use People who use an iPad aren't real artists because it's not pencil and paper. That's bullshit too.
Right. I've seen some incredible artwork done on an iPad with an Apple Pencil.
Yeah.
That blows my mind that someone's able to do, because you can't pencil onto paper and then blow up the image and go in tighter on it.
Mhm.
You can't manipulate and stretch that image the way that you want to. It gives you more options for art, and more options allow you to be more creative
and create something different. Not that everybody does that.
Right.
Some people will take something and just make a carbon copy of it with a tiny tweak.
Yeah.
And pass it off as their own art. There are other people who see these tools and go, this is a really useful tool. I'm going to use this to do X, Y, and Z and create something completely new and completely original.
Yeah. If you're focusing on whether people should or shouldn't do something, you're focusing on the wrong thing, because one, that's not your place.
Right.
You don't get to tell people whether they should or shouldn't do something. Now, if you're focusing on making sure that copyright material can't be used for AI to learn from, okay, I'm with that. If you're looking at it and saying there should be some parameters around things, copyright law should have more parameters to cover certain things, I'm for that too. But just yelling into the wind that art isn't art is just, you're not even really doing anything there. You're just, you're just trying to create some kind of thing for yourself online to get engagement.
Yeah,
I think, which I guess is its own art.
I don't even know if it's engagement. You know, like the people that, like according to Andy, like the people that did reach out and comment, like they're just random people with 50 followers here and 100 followers there.
Sure.
But like,
but it gets them engagement. They engage on a page.
I think it's less to do with engagement and more to do with people think their opinions matter more than they actually do.
Well, also people think that that's what they're supposed to do online, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen the when somebody will point out, like, why do you have to be so like judgy and mean? And the answer to that will be, is this your first time on the internet? And it's like, no, it's not my first time on the internet. It's my first time encountering you. Yeah. And you chose to be the way that you're being. Now, if you chose that because you think that's what the internet is, that still says something about you and not the internet. I've been on the internet and I've seen a lot of positive stuff. I've seen a lot of negative stuff. That doesn't dictate what I post. So have I been on the internet? Yeah. Have you? Why do you think that this is your job?
Right.
Right.
The internet police.
Right. This is how you're
Who
supposed
appointed you that?
This is how you're supposed to interact on Instagram. It's like, is it? Because I've seen a lot of different kinds of interaction on Instagram, and not everybody has to be a dick.
Yeah.
Like, do you just have to be a dick all the time?
Is that your thing?
And if that's your thing, that's, I got to be honest, not terribly original. So you kind of copied other people's thing, because there's a lot of dick out there, and you're not terribly an original dick.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're a carbon copy basic dick.
Mic drop.